Today we're going to read Isaiah, the 49th chapter through the 50th chapter, about the elect and the preserved ones that were preserved for the end time during the Great Tribulation, which started in 2017. Those were the first three signs. The first was the eclipse, which happened in August. In the ninth month, the Revelation 12 sign happened in the constellation and the stars. And in the 10th month, the space rock Oumuamua came into the atmosphere. Three signs and wonders. No man knoweth the time or hour, but his chosen will know by the signs and wonders what exact timeline we are in. And this is going to explain a lot of that right here. Isaiah 49 starts off at, "Listen to me, O coastlands, and hear you peoples from afar. Yahweh has called me from the womb, from my mother's body, has caused my name to be remembered. He made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand he hid me and made me a polished shaft. In his quiver he hid me. And he said to me, You are my servants, O Yisrael, in whom I have adorned. And I said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for emptiness and in vain. But my right ruling is with Yahweh, my work with my Elohim. And now, said Yahweh, who formed me from the womb, to be his servant, to bring Jacob back to him. Jacob in English, which would be Jacob in Hebrew, is James. Back to him, which is my name, through Yisrael, is not gathered to him. They're not gathered to him because they were scattered abroad. When the curses of Deuteronomy 15:68, when he said that if they didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, these are the curses that will come upon them. He said they will go back into bondage in ships and they will not see their homeland again. He said they will be sold for slave woman and slave man. You can read that in Deuteronomy. He said, and now said, who formed me from my mother's womb to be his servant, to bring back Jacob back to him. Through Yisrael was not gathered to him. Yet I am esteemed in the eyes of Yahweh. My Elohim has been my strength. And he said, shall it be travail for you to be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and to bring back the preserved ones of Israel. He literally preserved a special people, which are called the 144,000 elect. You can read about them in the book of Revelation, and it tells you that they will reveal themselves in the process of the Great Tribulation. He told Abraham in Genesis, he said, your descendants shall be a stranger in a foreign land, where they will have no regards for the young or old for 400 years. 1619 Project, 2019 HR 40 Act of African Americans being on this landmass for 400 years exactly. It's not a coincidence. In 2017, the first signs and wonders came about. In August, there was a total eclipse. And the 8th month, and in the 9th month, the Revelation 12 constellation happened in the Shemaims, which is the heavens. And in the 10th month, the space rock Oumuamua came into effect. He said, no man knoweth the time or hour, but you will know by these signs and wonders. In the book of Matthew 24, he said, when shall you know the time of thy second coming? He said, when you see these things, nations rising against nations, rumors of wars, pestilence, famines, plagues, earthquakes in diverse places. So that's the things that are happening right now among us. And the government is not really telling you about, because they're suffering a strong delusion. Everybody is, all the wicked ones. That's why the police officer said that she thought that she grabbed for her taser and it was a gun. That's why old man Biden's falling up the steps, getting dizzy spells. That's why you have officers pulling out their weapon, telling an active lieutenant of the United States Army, which was black and Hispanic, that he was going to ride the lightning if he didn't pull over in the time he said he wanted to get to a well-lit area. This is all prophecy, even to George Floyd. 9 minutes and 29 seconds. The Most High said that the Most High HaMashiach died on the 9th hour. 9 is symbolic to the number of judgment. And here we go. He said to bring back the preserved ones of Yisrael, and I shall give you a light to the Gentiles, to be my deliverance to the ends of the earth. Thus said Yahweh, the Redeemer of Yisrael, their Kodesh one, the Holy One, to the despised, to the loaf ones, the nations, to the servants of the rulers. Hold on, I'm gonna have to pause this for a second and I'll pick right back up. Alright, back where we left off at. Alright. He said, back at 7, Isaiah 49:7, thus said Yahweh, the Redeemer of Yisrael, their Kodesh one, the despised to the loaf one. The despised ones mean that the hated ones amongst all nations. It was never because of the color of your skin. They called us niggers, but in Hebrew, it means black and beautiful. They tell you that black cake is devil cake and white cake is angel cake. But Satan deceived the whole world, and all these lies are going to be exposed right now as we speak. I'm the number 999. I'm the opposite of 666. I was born the 9th month, the 19th day, the 90th year, exactly 9 p.m. sharp. My name is James. In Hebrew, it is Jacob, which is pronounced Yaakov. I'm one of the preserved ones, whether you believe it or not. I'm just a messenger, and I'm sending the message out. He said, thus said Yahweh, the Redeemer of Yisrael, their Kodesh one, to the despised, to the loaf ones of the nation, to the servants of rulers, sovereign shall see and arise. Rule also shall bow themselves, because Yahweh, who is steadfast, the Kodesh, Holy One of Yisrael, and he has chosen you. Thus said Yahweh, in a favorable time. Favorable time would be during the Great Tribulation. If you read in Revelation, that's when you hear of the 144,000 elect, which is the Most High Special Forces down here on the ground. And he said, in a favorable time shall answer you, in the day of deliverance I shall help you, I guard you, and give you for a covenant of the people, to restore the earth, to cause the inherent of ruins inheritance. You know why? Because he said he's going to make this place desolate. The only people that are going to be left are the people that believe with their whole heart, his elect that are scattered about, and only the ones that cleave to him and realize that their fathers have inherited lies and bow. He said, I guard you and give you for a covenant of thy people, to restore the earth, to cause the inheritance of ruins inheritance, to say to the prisoners, go out to those who are in darkness, show yourself. So now he's telling us, reveal yourself. It's no need to hide anymore. He said, let them feed on the ways, let their pasture be on all bare hills. They shall not hunger nor thirst, neither heat or sun strike them. For he who has compassion on them shall lead lead them even by fountains of water, guide them. I shall make all my mountains a way and my highways raised up. Because if people don't know, if you read in all the forbidden books, the regular Bible, he tells you the mountains are portals. The mountains are portals to heaven. Mount Hermon, Mount Zion. If you notice, in all of those mountains, either fallen angels came or other angels came to give messages. He said, and I shall make all my mountains a way and my highway raised up. See, these come from afar away, and see those from the north and the west, and these from the land of Sinman. Sing, O Shemayim. Shemayim in Hebrew means heaven. Rejoice, O earth, and break out in singing, O mountains, for Yahweh, which means he that is, be, its self-existent one, shall comfort his people and have compassion on his afflicted ones. That means in this nation they had no accounts of our labor. That's why in Revelation he said spiritual Sodom in Egypt. Spiritual Sodom is where Sodom and Gomorrah, where they was fornicating, and now here in Mystery Babylon they integrate the gay rights and use the rainbow flag, which is the Most High's mighty bow. The 7 elements with are in it. And spiritual Egypt is the Greek word for Egyptos, which means bondage. The real name for Egypt is Mitzrayim. Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. Japheth was the Isles of the Gentiles, so that leaves the Negroes left to be with Shem. And you can find that in the Zondervan Compact Dictionary. For Yahweh shall comfort his people and have compassion on his afflicted ones. In Revelation it says, the whore that sitteth upon many waters. They're on everybody's landmass and they're trying to control the world. And literally, he said they lived luxurious off of the labor of his afflicted ones. They kept us at the bottom and they reaped all the benefits of the wealth. He said the more that they decorate their houses, the angrier he gets. But that's why he said we're going to leave out of here with great riches, because as he sweeps the wicked off the lands, everything that is left is going to be left to us. He said he shall have compassion on his afflicted ones. Who would be afflicted? The ones that are running to and fro. They're tormented day and night. The police hunt them down, shoot them down. They suffer strong delusions, literally. But this is all prophecy. None of it is a coincidence. I'm going to try to go through this as fast as possible and break it down as quick as possible. He said, but Zion says, Yahweh has forsaken me. That means they gave up faith. They don't even believe that he exists no more. But he's coming like a thief in the night. And Yahweh has forgotten me. Would a woman forget her nursing child, not have compassion on a child, and not have compassion on a son of her womb? Though they forget, I never forget. See, I have inscribed you on palms of my hand. Your walls are always before me. Your son shall harry your destroyers, and those who laid you waste depart from you. This is when the wicked flee from you. Those feds that are monitoring your phone, spying on you through the devices. Guess what? Their hearts are already been hardened just to be judged, but they're going to realize who the true Almighty El is and who his chosen people are. He said, would a woman forget her nursing child and not have compassion on the son of her womb? Though they forget, I never forget. See, I have inscribed you on palms of my hand. Your walls are always before me. Your son shall hurry destroyers, and those who lay you waste depart from you. Lift up your eyes round about and see all of them that gather together and come to you. That means everybody's going to start cleaving to you, because because you're a light. And when it gets real dark out here and nobody else has the answers for them, they're going to run to what the only thing that was making sense. The people that they were saying was crazy or didn't make sense or they couldn't comprehend. But guess what? Prophecy does not lie, and all will be fulfilled as written forever and ever. He says, I live, declare Yahweh. You shall put on all of them as an ornament and bind them on you as a bride does. For your waste in your deserted places and the land of your destruction shall soon be too narrow for the inhabitants, while those who swallow you up are far away. That means they're going to be fleeing, running to their bunkers, telling, oh, rocks fall on me to hide me from him that cometh from up there. He said, the sons of your bereavement shall yet say in your ears, the place is too narrow for me. Make room for me to live. And you shall say in your heart, who has brought forth these for me, since I am bereaved and barren and exile and wandering to and fro. We are never at peace and shalom. We are always running to and fro. Everywhere we go, there's some wickedness happening. It's just always somebody trying to set a trap for us. But the Most High, He always moves our spirit at the right time. When they want us to go right, He makes us go left. When they try to make us do one thing, we automatically know to do the opposite, because we lean not on our own understanding, and we walk by faith and not by sight. People, they need to see stuff. They actually has to be right in their face for them to believe it. That's not how you get the power from the Almighty. He said a lot of them are going to say in that day that they have known me. He said being that they were nor hot nor cold, lukewarm, He's going to spit them out. Because how could you say you have known Him if you were unsure with yourself? Satan deceiveth the whole world. Religion was only created to divide and conquer and cause confusion, just like was at the Tower of Babel when Nimrod tried to build a tower to the heaven to fight the almighty El, but he confused the languages and divided them. He said, and lift up your eyes round about, say to them all, gather together, come to you, and I live, declares Yahweh. You shall not on all of them an ornament and bind them on you as a bride does. For your waste and your deserted places and the land of your destruction shall soon be too narrow for the inhabitants, while those who are swallowed up are far away. The sons of your bereavement shall yet say in your ear, the place is too narrow for me. Make room for me to live. And you shall say in your heart, who has brought forth these for me, since I am bereaved and barren and exile and wandering to and fro, never in stable ground, always having to get away from wickedness. And who reared them? See, I was left alone. I'm always left alone. Anybody that knows me can tell you that. It's always a problem everywhere I go. It's always an excuse for something. Anything, but that's prophecy. Before it used to bother me, now it does not bother me. He says, alone. From where did these come? Thus said the Adon Yahweh, King Yahweh, Sovereign. See, I lift my hand up to the Gentiles and raise my banner for the people, and they shall bring your sons in their arms and your daughters carried on their shoulders. Sovereign shall be your foster fathers, and their sovereigness your nursing mothers. They bow down to you with their faces to the earth and lick up the dust of your feet, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. Those who wait for me shall not be ashamed. Is prey taken from the mighty, and the captives of the righteous delivered? Yet thus said Yahweh, even the captives of the mighty are taken away, and the prey of the ruthless is delivered. I strive with him who strives with you, and I save your children. What he's saying right there is those who bless the afflicted, the poor, and look out for them and don't follow the ways of this world, but follow the goodness of their heart. Those who bless the real Yasharala, he is going to bless them tenfold. And those are going to be the ones that cleave to us, which will go to the kingdom with us. He said, and I shall feed those who oppress you with their own flesh, and let them drink their own blood as sweet wine. All flesh shall know that I, Yahweh, am your Savior, your Redeemer, and the Elohim of Jacob. Jacob, that's my name in Hebrew, which is Yakah. He said, and now we're at the 50th chapter. Thus say Yahweh, where is the certificate of your mother's divorce? Now we're going to hold this. You know that my mother had a one-night stand with my father. My brother Jarrell's dad name was James. As he was in jail, she deceived them and told them that I got pregnant by you and I named the child after you. So even in her own wickedness, she still fulfilled the prophecy. And my name still became James, and I was still born on the 9th month, the 19th day of the 90th year at exactly 9 o'clock. 999 is the number of judgments, the ending of a cycle, the opposite of 666, the demon slayers, the destroyers of the workers of iniquity in the flesh, through the power of the Almighty El. He said, thus said Yahweh, where is the certificate of your mother's divorce, whom I have put away? Or which of my creditors is it to whom I have sold you? See, he controls good and evil. Being that we didn't keep the law, statutes, and commandments, he allowed these wicked people to come upon us and do these wicked atrocities to us. Like feed our children to alligators as alligator bait. Little Negro babies for sale for alligator bait. You can look that up all online, and it'll also tell you that in the King James Version Apocrypha. The Apocrypha means the hidden book. He said, I have sold you. Look, were sold for your wickedness, and your mother was put away for your transgressions. When I came, why was there no man? When I called, was there no one to answer? Was my hand too short to redeem? Or have I no power to deliver? See, by my rebuke I dry up the sea, like he did with Moshe when they left Egypt and the pharaohs pursued them, and then he drowned their whole army. I make the rivers wilderness, their fish stink, for there is no water and die of thirst. Sound familiar? A lot of the things that we've been seeing lately. I clothe the Shemayim, which is the heavens, with darkness, and make sackcloth their covering. The Adon Yahweh has given me the tongue of the Talmudim, that I should know to help the weary with a word. So all of those in distress, I have power and dominion. I can change your spirit overnight because I'm special. I'm a preserved one. I am one of the elect, the 144,000 that are scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth in a favorable time, which is now, during right in the middle of the great tribulation, where plague number 1 of the 10 plagues, which is sickness, another one famine, another one will be the beast of the fields that will be released, and it will be like a zombie apocalypse out of here because they took the mark of the beast. He that said,